Hi, this is Adrian with Telepractice Tools, and today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite resources, Pink Cat Games. So what we're going to do first is take a look at how to play games with a free option, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like if you do have a paid account. So I'm at pinkcatgames.com. This is the home page, and you can just go to play. And when you go to play, the first thing that it's going to ask you to do is choose questions. So if you're going to choose questions, you would basically search for things that people have already created. So it depends on if you're working on articulation or language, but you can just choose some target and type in and see what pops up. These are all of the options of things that have already been created by others. So I'm going to do S initial words. And sometimes you can narrow it down by grade. Certain things aren't really grade specific, but for this S initial words, there is a word list here, and it says it's appropriate for pre-K. I could also change that grade level if I wanted. Maybe I'm looking for something that's for third grade. All that it's really going to change is the actual questions and not the game itself. So the questions are really going to be what your target is. That's formulating your stimulus items, and then the games themselves are going to make it more fun and interactive and rewarding for the child. So you can preview any of the activities. This one is just going to show you what the questions actually are, and I kind of like this. All of the S words have a picture with them. So if I want to use this one, I'll just click anywhere in the box. So now I see my three options of free games. There's Build a Monster, Smarty Pants Animal Race, and Quiz Wheel Game. Depending on the age of the child you'll be working with or children and their interests, you can select one of these. I like Build a Monster for some of my younger kids. The Quiz Wheel Game would probably be a perfect option for those second and third graders. So let's go here. And this is going to be the settings that you can customize before you actually play the game. So for most games, I can just leave the settings as they are. You can definitely customize and make some tweaks if you want to. So I'll just show you briefly what each of these means. So the first thing is going to be our stimulus items. We did the preview, so we know that there are 18 words and pictures, but maybe I want to customize it. Maybe I didn't like all of the words, or some of the pictures aren't as clear. So I can click on any that I do not want to show up. So I'm going to get rid of some of these. I still like to have at least 10 stimulus items. So I'm just watching my number to make sure I don't delete too many of them. All right, let's get rid of this one and this one. And I'm at 12, which is pretty good, but I'll get rid of salt too. I like the animated images. Okay, so you can close this if you want by clicking on the arrow again. And now these other settings, you can play this game without questions. That is an option for any of the games. You can just use this as a general reinforcer. Maybe you're giving the stimulus items verbally to the child, or maybe this is the reward after working on something during the session, or maybe they're working on making requests. And so this activity in itself is what you're working on. So if you wanted to, you just click on that and it would put the check mark in the box. You also can randomize the questions. If you're going to create your own questions, which you can do with a paid account, you may want to uncheck this if the questions need to be in a certain order. But for the most part, random should be fine. Maximum number of possible answers. So this is where I would make a change. For some younger kids, I really try to keep things as simple as possible. So I may just show them one possible answer or let them choose from a field of 2 possible answers. So you can really put whatever number you'd like between 1 and 4. And then making the question self-correcting, that just means if they get it incorrect, they get another chance to get it correct. And then you have an option to show the correct answer after an incorrect answer is chosen. I wouldn't do both of these, so I would leave this unchecked. Show audio buttons, that's only if there is sound there. Label answers, I don't think we need the ABCD, so I'll leave that unchecked. And then if you want, I always leave the text if there is text, just to promote that early literacy for kids, even if they're not reading. And then for the answers, I want to show the pictures for sure. For the older kids, maybe you just do text and not pictures, but I like the pictures. If there are pictures with the questions, it's a nice touch. So now that brings us to the bottom of our settings. We can choose play or save. Save is only an option if you have already created an account. So if you're just going to play the game, let's go ahead and click on play and start. So this particular activity, this is Dress a Monster. There are so many more options if you have a paid account, but you'll see that this is just pictures. So you're wondering, where are the questions? So you actually have to click on one of the pictures first for the question to pop up. So maybe the child will just tell you what they want, which is a great way to get them using their language skills. Maybe, can I have a hat? Or I want blue hat. Whatever it is that you want them to say, and then you click on it for them. So here, remember I chose that I want two options. So I have seahorse as my stimulus, and then the two choices, you'll see the sail and seahorse. So if you're using Zoom and your child does know their numbers, maybe you're going to put a choice 1 and 2. Or maybe in the settings, you can select A and B if they know their letters. But in a lot of cases, I'll just say, okay, I'm going to just put one picture for the stimulus item, and it'll have the word and the picture. So here we do seahorse. You select the correct one, it turns green, and then it puts the hat on for you. Then the child says, I want football. And then we're going to choose sit. Let's say we chose the wrong one. You'll see that it turns red and makes a little sound. And then you do have an opportunity to now correct your response. A good thing to be able to do if you are using a platform that enables you to give control to the child, if you do have two choices and you want them to select it themselves, so maybe have them tap on their screen or use their mouse, you can give them control, and then instead of them asking you, then they're able to tap on it themselves. So they might say, all right, shorts, and then they're going to pick the correct response, sail. So this is just a way to have your stimulus items and the reinforcement all built into the same activity, which is great. So let's say we are ready to end this game. So we're going to go to the gear and quit. If you wanted to, you can play this game again or change the settings. So I'm just going to quit now and leave. So let's say you do have a paid account. It's only about $40 for the year right now, which is a great investment. There's no monthly option, but if you pay for the year right now, it's on sale. I'm going to log in, and then you'll see instead of only having, let's say 3 options, I have all of these games down here, new games, popular now, winter. I like this a lot because there are so many different themes and types of characters that it pairs perfectly with what I do with my preschool and early intervention kids, because all of my therapy is theme-based. So I love to use this to get activities that correlate with the theme while we're still addressing that child's goals. So I am going to go ahead and log in. So now I'm going to play, or I can go to my saved games. I could even create my own questions, but we're not creating our own activity. If we don't need to reinvent the wheel, we'll just go with what already exists, and we'll save the creating your own activities for another video. So now let's go to play. And for this one, let's say, what do we want to work on? Let's choose a language goal. So we're going to work on ing verbs. And here we go. And then you can choose the grade level. and using, let's see, there's only one on the list. So we'll go with that. You can preview it still just to make sure that it's appropriate. This has pictures, he is, she is, they are, that go along with it. So that looks good to me. Let's go ahead and select this activity. And you'll see that I have my recently played already at the top here. I've been doing winter themed activities. So gingerbread, a winter scene, snowman, and penguin are the ones that I've played most recently. The games have different ways to sort them. You can look at the games based on those categories that I showed you earlier with the season or most recently played, most popular. It's really up to you. But to streamline and make this a quick search for me, I'm going to go at the top where it says occasion. And so for this, I can go ahead and choose if I want to do a themed activity. All of the seasons are here. So I'm going to choose a winter activity. And then for game type, there are a set number of game types that are standard within Pink Cat games. So one of my favorite is the feed. You feed whatever character you've chosen. And the kids, especially my preschool kids, really enjoy this. They get a kick out of the activity, and I'll show you what it does and why it's so much fun. But if you want to do a board game, a bingo, it's up to you. And you just narrow down and it'll generate the activity for you. Characters you can choose if you want to do, let's say we wanted to do a snowman because it is winter. You can also choose to, if you have a lot of games that you play, you can also sort it by recently played of your own games. So I'm going to keep it at winter and see what shows up. It automatically puts your results down at the bottom. But let's say I want to see what type of winter feeding games there are. And here are my choices. There's Feed the Penguin, Snowman, or Polar Bear. And I want to do Snowman this week. So let's go ahead and choose that. And don't forget to customize your questions if you need to. If you want any taken away, just click on it and it'll go away once it turns gray. So we've customized our questions. And then I'm going to keep everything else the same. So let's go ahead to play and start. So for this activity, feed the, or a feeding activity, the child chooses what food or item they want to feed, and then the question pops up. And the fun part you'll see in just a second. So let's say the child says, "Can I have a pear?" So we choose pear. And then here your questions pop up. She is taking a picture. So we're going to select this one. And then the snowman's going to eat the pear, and then, whoa, he gets bigger. And there's always something kind of going on in the background of this activity. So you'll notice that a bird just appeared in the tree. Because I think that for this particular activity, I would prefer to just give the child one picture and the text, I'm going to change this maximum number of possible answers to 1. And then you'll see I can continue that. So let's do, can I have the ice cream? And now we just have the one picture instead of the 4 choices. What is he doing? He is dreaming. So then we click on that. Snowman eats and he gets bigger. So let's say I love this game so much, I want to save it. So I can play it another time either with this student or a different one. So I just go to save. And then you can name the game whatever you'd like. And because this one is ing verbs, I'm going to put ing verbs, feed the snowman, and then save. So when I log into my account and I'm ready to play this again, let's just go to the home page, play now. Now I go to my saved games, and you will see ing verbs, feed the snowman. So if you are customizing the questions or have different ages or different students that you're working with, you can put their initials or grade 1 or preschool. You can definitely name it whatever you want so you can easily locate the game that you're looking for. All right, so that was my overview of Pink Cat Games. I hope that you're able to utilize this in your telepractice sessions, and it's so easy to set up, and you don't have to create an account if you don't want to. You can use the free options, and if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.